Today's episode of Off the Timeline is titled, What if Vince Young went to LSU and Nick Saban never left? What if the best player in college football in the mid 2000s never went to Texas, but instead walked into LSU and teamed up with the one coach who never wastes talent? And what if that one decision didn't just change his season, but changed who ruled college football for the next decade? Because in 2005, there was a version of this sport where Texas never had Vince Young, LSU became unstoppable, and a team nobody expected figured out how to stop them. But first, let's set things up. In real life, Vince Young became a legend at Texas. But in this universe, that decision changes. Instead of Texas, he commits to LSU. And that alone would be massive. But the real change? Nick Saban never leaves. No Dolphins experiment, no reset. Instead, he looks at LSU and realizes, I can build an NFL factory right here. So he stays, and suddenly, the most disciplined coach in the sport has the most exciting player in the sport as well. And that sets the table for the LSU early years. And here's the part where most people could get wrong. This doesn't work immediately because Nick Saban doesn't change overnight. Early on, Vince Young isn't unleashed, he's contained. Designed runs, limited. Improvisation, controlled. Big plays, rare. And LSU struggles with it. They win games, but they don't dominate. They drop a game they shouldn't, and the criticism starts. Why recruit a player like that if you're not going to use him? And that sets the table for the turning point. Midway through 2004, something changes. Nick Saban adapts, not fully, not recklessly, but just enough. And that's when it clicks. Because now it's not just LSU defense anymore. It's LSU defense plus a quarterback who can break you on any play. And that sets the table for Texas without Vince. Because meanwhile, back in Austin, everything changes. Mac Brown doesn't get his generational quarterback. And instead of collapsing, Texas evolves. They become more physical, more disciplined, and more methodical. No highlight reel superstar, just a team that avoids mistakes and wins close games. And something else starts to build. A quiet feeling that we're still elite, but something is missing. And that sets the table for South Carolina entering. South Carolina in this universe is still led by Steve Spurrier, but in this alternate universe, he evolves not to the Steve Spurrier people remember. This version evolves. He studies LSU methodically, studies Vince Young, and realizes you're not going to outscore them. So he builds something different. A more conservative offense, quarterback spy defensive packages, long draining drives. South Carolina doesn't try to beat LSU. They try to slow them down just enough. And that sets the table for USC. And this is where this universe could break if left unaddressed. Because in 2005, USC football is still loaded. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, speed, talent, points. And for most of the year, they look unbreakable. However, this alternate universe has a divergence point in mid-October, a road game, a desert night, against Arizona State. A missed assignment leads to a turnover, a moment of chaos. And suddenly, USC has an unexpected loss. They're still elite, but now they look human. And that sets the table for the 2005 chaos building. And this is where everything converges. LSU is the most talented team in the country. Texas is undefeated and efficient. USC is exciting but has one blemish, and South Carolina is peaking late. And then it happens. South Carolina versus LSU. Late season, high stakes. And instead of trying to win big, they drag LSU into the mud. Long drives, short fields, no rhythm. And for the first time all season, LSU looks uncomfortable, and South Carolina wins. And that sets the table for BCS chaos. Now the BCS has a major problem. Texas is undefeated. LSU might be the best team. USC might be the most dangerous. And South Carolina just proved something on the field. But only two can play. And in the end, the system does what it always does. It chooses two teams, and in this case, Texas and LSU. And that sets the stage for the title game. The matchup writes itself. Texas, the team that never had Vince Young, versus LSU, the team that got him in this alternate universe. Early on, LSU looks faster, stronger, more exciting. Vince Young breaks a long run. LSU leads at halftime. But Texas doesn't panic. They slow the game down, control time, win small moments, and in the fourth quarter, they take everything LSU gives them one drive at a time. 6 minutes, no mistakes, no hero ball, just discipline. Texas scores, and LSU never gets the ball back. Final score, Texas 24, LSU 20. And just like that, everything changes. Texas still wins the title in this alternate universe, albeit very differently than the way they did it in real life. LSU becomes a hopeful dynasty that still feels like it left something on the table. USC is the team everyone says would have won, and South Carolina, they became the one team nobody wanted to play, all because one decision changed, one coach stayed, Vince Young ended up at LSU, and one season that never played out the way it was supposed to. And if you enjoy college football what ifs like this, ones that feel just real enough to actually happen, hit like, subscribe, and let me know who is actually the best team in this universe. Because depending on who you ask, you'll get 4 different answers.